those young Nigerians who fight against all odds, who don't merely complain about how difficult it is to survive in their country, but throw their hearts into the ring, and who use their talents to uplift their world, are special. One of them is the author of this new book titled Brace Yourself. Meet him and get to know his book through this report about an event where he publicly unveiled his book.
Jonathan Majin is a young Nigerian who, like most other Nigerians of his generation, is confronted with the challenges of a developing economy. But his passion, optimism, and new book titled Brace Yourself are inspiring hope and optimism. At an event recently held in Lagos to publicly introduce his book, the young entrepreneur and author hosted guests from various walks of life. Intellectual and profound, the different aspects of the event, including a reading from the book, got guests thinking.
It is important to know that a great idea isn't necessarily product-based and doesn't necessarily have to come from external factors. A great idea could come from within. You could be your business idea. If you have enough substance, and value within you, you can sell your value to people and make money in return. Remember that people will always pay for value. We have big businesses in the coaching, public speaking, book writing industries. This is the industry that I currently operate in. I realized after 3 failed businesses that my greatest strength was my mind. And when I open my mouth, people tend to listen. So I began to work on myself, do some research, and make myself someone of substance that people would want to listen to.
A conversation with the author helps to introduce a few themes from the book.
The generation before us, so many things were not possible, right? But now you could have a 9 to 5, and on the weekends you're doing something else. And also now you can have like maybe 2 9 to 5s. You can combine so many things. You can run your business on social media. You can, it's just a lot of possibilities, and when you're not utilizing all of these things that are in front of you, it's either that you are seen as lazy or you start to put that pressure on yourself, which affects your psyche.
People only put the best parts of their days or the best parts of their lives on their social media handles. So it's like if you watched a football game and you went out and then you went back and watched the highlights, it's it's a completely different experience watching the highlights and watching the football game. And that's the way social media is. For example, if I've worked for 25 years and eventually I'm rewarding myself with a house in Banana Island, I'm going to buy the house and then I'm going to put home sweet home, the house in Banana Island. That's all you're going to see. You're not going to see when I was fired. You're not going to see when people talk to me anyhow. You're not going to see when I had to take crap from people above me. You're not going to see anything. So for a young person reading that, all you see is the results. You don't see the process. And then you start feeling like you're not doing anything. You start feeling like you need to be doing more. When really and truly everything is okay. You're going at exactly the pace you're supposed to be going at.
But so what's the standard of measuring that pace? I suppose that's also what I'm interested in.
There isn't a standard, I don't think. I feel like that standard has to be set by yourself because people are different.
The guests shared their own thoughts.
Your mention of the mental angle of it is something that you don't know how much value it is when we find young people actually confronting the issue which your other peers are facing right now. I know so many young people too who have written on mental health. They're young, they've gone through it as well, depression, specifically, let me call it its name, and there have been a lot of help to other youths as well to help them through the process.
And then it was time to unveil.
It's very, very difficult as a young person when you come back and you have a lot of ideas and a lot of projects that you want to do. It's difficult to execute them, and one thing that is constant is there are always going to be obstacles along the way. How do you react to them? How do you trump over them? How do you make sure that they don't stop you from achieving your goal? That's why I wrote this book, to help with that.
The 115-page book consists of contributions from multiple people who share their experiences navigating through life in Nigeria.
It was really hard, actually, writing, just putting my thoughts down. I think Jonathan had called me and talked to me and just said he wanted to hear my perspective. So I just really thought about the things I had struggled with and the things that I wanted people to learn from my own experiences. And I threw it on paper, and then I did a lot of editing, but hopefully people do take a good part of the book from it.
Well, actually, the questions were sent. And I thought it was very apt for the title of the book, Praise Yourself. It required directing the youth on how to go about giving themselves direction through listening to others, reading about others, and learning about other people's lifestyles and what brought them how far to where they are now. I believe that it's a learning experience for them. And for Jonathan Majin, who put this book together, I think he looked around him and he said, what's the problem with us youths in Nigeria at the moment? And he tried to find a solution. And I was encouraged, yes, to be a part of it, because a lot of people tell people like me that they look at us as role models. And if one can't direct them in the way they should go, through some of the experiences that we have had, that we have learned from, then who else do they go to?
A major touch point in Jonathan's book is understanding and dealing with success, something young Nigerians today seem to struggle with.
The youths of today are microwave youths. Microwave in the sense that they want everything good now. They don't want to wait. They don't want to put it through the oven and let it take the normal course that it should take. But you know how the microwave works? Split second. That's how they want everything. They want to come out of uni, maybe age of 21. They want to be a millionaire 2 or 3 years later. It doesn't work that way. There's a lot that you need to put into life. And as you're doing that, you're gaining experience. And the experiences you're gaining, that you're plowing them back into, where you're going and what you're trying to build. And you have to have a focus. You have to have a focus. You have to have a direction. You have to know what it is exactly that you're trying to achieve. Now, if you're trying to achieve it overnight, it's not going to work, because somewhere along the line, you're going to get your fingers burnt. And when people's fingers are burnt and you have to learn the hard way, it's begin again. So there's no point going up the ladder too fast and coming down the snake, like, you slide down and you go down quicker than, the length of time it took you to get up there. So I talk to them about patience. I talk to them about perseverance. I talk to them about tenacity.
So what will the author like every reader to get from his book?
To learn 2 things. One, how to constantly develop yourself, because there's so much information out there. You have to be able to access that information, harness it to improve yourself as an individual. Also, that's not all. You need to learn how to deal with when things don't go your way. And those are the 2 things. Learn how to deal with setbacks and learn how to continuously improve yourself, because the world is changing. So you need to make sure you have a wide variety of skills to fit different situations.
I hope you have had a great time with us today. As always, we'll be delighted to get your feedback through any of our social media platforms displayed on your screen. I'm Olakunle Kasumo. Remember, one great book can change your life. Bye-bye.